What company's CEO just invested in more Bitcoin? What are some signs that the economy is starting to open back up? Why did Snapchat hit an all-time high and 17 more? What's up, everyone? Welcome to Budgets Brews Morning Coffee Break, where we discuss, chat, and ramble about last week's top 20 financial headlines.
Today is February 28th, 2021. Let's get that coffee out and start brewing those hot headlines.
And remember, you can watch these episodes on YouTube if you're currently listening via podcast. We're going to discuss our top 10 and then list and link the remaining 10 for your enjoyment. Tony, what is headline number one?
So our first headline today is Snap stock hit an all-time high amidst Investor Day event. So this was their first virtual Investor Day event. Traders and investors reacted positively when their senior director of advertising products, I had to make sure I got that right, Peter Sealis, I believe I'm saying that correctly, provided the viewers with an optimistic outlook on their ad revenue growth. So their growth has been really, really good. He said, and I quote, "Via the work on our self-service ad platform, we're in a position to drive multiple years of 50% plus revenue growth." So they're expecting to see really, really good results over the next couple of years with their ad revenue. They've actually grown more than Twitter and Facebook this year. So they're positioned to do really, really well. Rich, how are you feeling about Snap?
I know. I'm biased again. I hate it. Yeah. I don't like Snapchat. I think it's stupid.
As a product, right?
Like if I was going to invest in there, that's what I'm saying. So you're saying as a product, I don't hate it as a product. I think investment wise, like if you were going to say, hey, Rich, I need you're going to invest, we're going to see 50% revenue sales, all this. I'm just not buying it. I don't know. I don't think that it's that, like they try to offer people incentives as in money to do these spotlight snaps. Like, snap yourself, and if you get up here, you can get money, because they're trying to get influencers in this sphere. And I just don't think it's going to work. I think it was too marketed towards, like teens, and it was that picture messaging. But now so many other things developed where it's sort of got pushed to the wayside. They're trying to implement the new Snap Map feature and start to throw some different advertisements on there. I don't see it working. I don't see anyone really going to the Snap Map to check stuff out. I don't know, but I'm biased. It could just be me. I'm just not a fan of it. I would not invest in it.
I'm going to take the other end, and I'm going to stay optimistic. I do like Snap. I actually own a little bit of their stock myself. They've been doing really well this year, so I am on the positive end. But we will have to wait and find out, right?
Absolutely.
So what do we got next?
Headline number two, the US Postal Service has awarded Oshkosh Truck Corporation a multi-billion-dollar fleet modernization contract that will cover 10 years and tens of thousands of vehicles. The USPS says it will equip the vehicles with either fuel-efficient engines or battery electric powered trains. What I thought was interesting about this is the Oshkosh stock shot up 9% after they were awarded this contract. Which, okay, that I get it, right? You just bought out the contract to make these fleet of vehicles where we see, the post office, their drivers are driving around in these little cars. So 9%, cool, whatever. What I thought was really fascinating, though, was the other side of the coin. Their competition, who they actually beat out, the Workhorse Group, dropped nearly 50%. That's where I saw, I'm like, wow. So it's like, we're always talking about stocks and we're saying, one's going to go up, one's going to go down, and word of mouth news travels. Well, with this specifically right here, I mean, it's just that news was big, right? Some people lost a lot, and then the winners, they got a little tick, a nice little bonus tick on them. But still, it's just like you just never know what. And I had no clue this was happening. Like, I heard, someone released the article about this, and I was like, who really cares about the Postal Service and who they're going to have the trucks? But it's just like, if you're a day trader, right, if you're invested in this stock, and like you need to be watching these things constantly. And so you could have lost a lot of money if you had your, stock invested in Workhorse Group and you weren't really watching this news. And then by the time you probably got the news, it was probably too late. So I just wanted to throw this out there as, just because I'm a big fan of index fundings.
Sure.
Index, funds and investments. That's if you want to try to pick stocks, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, and I did own Workhorse stock, and it's been a downhill slope the past week, as well as many other stocks. But I think Joe Biden or his presidential Democrats were made some statements about potentially making all the federal vehicles EV, right? And Workhorse is an EV company where Oshkosh. I always think Oshkosh, but Oshkosh is they just do regular drive powertrain. I think they have hybrids, so some of them are electric and gas. But this was not the direction that a lot of people thought they were going. So Workhorse has been building value on the speculation that they're going to get this huge contract from the government, and the fact that they lost out of it, it really hurt them bad. Yeah. So congratulations to Oshkosh for them awarding this. Anyone who's seen a mail truck recently knows that these things are just an old design, due for an update. So definitely looking forward to see the new designs, and congratulations to them.
Yeah. What's number three?
Next up, Tony? We have some more cryptocurrency news. So Square, Jack Dorsey's fintech company, bought 170 million more shares of Bitcoin. Yeah. This is becoming a trend that we're seeing week after week. More enterprise companies buying into cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. What are you thinking, Rich? How are you feeling about it?
I really like this headline because we just talked about this sort of last week we saw Elon Musk, we saw MasterCard, we saw Square. All these people are buying into this Bitcoin hype because of a plethora of different reasons. And one of the things that I posted on our Finance Friday, as well as 4 different reasons why big companies are buying into this. And so I would just again, now you have somebody who already has, bought in this saying, I'm going to put $170 more million into Bitcoin to sort of reinsure, I guess,
place in there,
investors. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. So I think that's why it's making one of our top 10 headlines.
What I like to see is that the market cap of these cryptocurrencies keeps growing, and it always, as of right now, nothing's for sure. These things could die off in 5-10 years and nothing can happen from it. Yeah. But, on the flip side of that is this the technology, the blockchain, and these cryptocurrencies, is this the currency that's going to be used in the future? It's all speculation as of right now. There's a lot of people backing Bitcoin, but you can never predict what's going to happen. So I just like to stay optimistic. But what else we got here, Rich?
Headline number 4, we have New Jersey became the 13th state to legalize marijuana. And we pulled this one because we've been talking a lot about, decriminalization of marijuana and starting to legalize it at the federal level and all the talk about that. And so here we go, another state, they went to legalize it. I thought that it was very interesting is the state would actually treat underage drinking and underage marijuana use or possession pretty much as the same offense. Yeah. And so they're going to make both of these subject to written warnings instead of fines or charges. And that's under 21. So if you're under 21 or something like that, so you get caught with a fine or something. So just different take. I think you start looking at taxes. Yep. I mean, the tax is more in general for sales tax. And then they throw on a marijuana tax on top of that. So I feel like it's definitely helping out the states, whether, I guess, you're on either side of these, but still with that revenue, I'm hoping that's, going back in for the infrastructure programs, different things like that. So I'm all in favor for it as long as, the states are making money and they're putting that back into the economy for good use for the public.
Yeah, I agree. And also, let's not forget, this has been a trending thing that we've seen happening. More states over the course of the years are decriminalizing and legalizing marijuana for medical use and recreational use is a big thing that's coming into this. And that also helps all of the marijuana and growing companies who distribute, commercialize the sales of marijuana, all these different companies, a lot of big growth potential opportunities for them as well. So, if you're looking to get into investing in marijuana stocks, it might not be a bad time to start doing some research and taking a look around.
Right. Tony, what's number 5?
Oh, so next up we have that the Chinese box office generated $1.2 billion in ticket sales over the recent Lunar New Year holiday, a record haul and equivalent of about 10% of the total global box office last year. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. It just seems like they're still selling some tickets here.
Box office tickets.
Yeah, something that we haven't seen a lot of lately.
No, and that's why for me, I'm like, that's sort of, we're talking about economies opening back up again. Right here, just goes to show that they're back at it. They're back in swing over there,
Yeah.
and they're generating the money. People are getting out of the homes. They're feeling more comfortable with the economy to go into something like a movie theater, sit down next to others. It's probably still socially distanced and everything like that, but to see these spikes and that trend that's going on there, I think that's going to start to carry back over here to the States. Just a matter of time, especially now that we have those vaccines rolling out. And more people, every day are getting vaccinated. They're feeling more comfortable with going out and about, spending the money, getting in the stores, and getting that economy start rolling again. So I thought this was a good positive note for a headline.
Yeah, and also, it is, like you mentioned, it's a good sign that the economy may be opening back up. People are starting to go out to the movie theaters. These things are starting to become less and less. I think I read a projection that in the United States, we're hoping to have some sort of herd immunity sometime around the time of August of this year. So fingers crossed for that. But
Yeah.
What do we got next, Rich?
Number 6, last Tuesday, fans were allowed to attend the first New York Knicks basketball game in person for the first time in 352 days. They capped it at about 10% occupancy. 14 actually NBA teams, so out of 30, are allowing fans to attend games with no more than a 25% occupancy. So I really think, once again, we're starting to see things open back up. People feel more comfortable with that. However, they do have to produce a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours of attending. And specifically with this complex, the New York Knicks, they're with a ticket sale, they're giving you a test. So it's, take it at home, you do your test and stuff like that. So with every ticket sale too. So, I pose the question, are we seeing an economic comeback with all this stuff?
Yeah, I think this is definitely for super fans, right? Because they're only opening it up to 10% cap of the regular capacity in the arena. So still small, very small, slow, steady open. It's probably more of a trial run for them to see, okay, if we have people in here, what kind of health precautions do we need to take? How is this rollout going to work? So hopefully this is a smooth rollout, and we start seeing them being able to open the doors and really start letting people back into their sports games, because I'm a big sports fan and I definitely miss going to see the games and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good. I think this is great news, and it's just another thing that shows that the economy is kind of starting to take that bounce back. Next up, we have Spotify. So Spotify said it's launching its service in 85 new markets across Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean and beyond. So why is this important? Spotify already has 340 million users, and this expansion could double Spotify's global footprint. Yeah. Everyone knows about Spotify. They're already huge. So this is a huge marketing rollout for them to reach a whole group of new users.
Right. And their premise on this is, if we have a new market, that means that we're captivating new performers who will return attract new followers to listen to that, music. Like if you had a band and you weren't able to even get on Spotify, and now you could, and you post your music on there, you're going to tell all of your fans, hey, I'm now on Spotify. They're going to download the app. They're going to tune in. They're going to see, pay for premium or all those things right there. And so that's where I think this is really big for Spotify to see that growth, across the different countries.
You want to know how I know that they already started this process?
How do you know?
Because I am a free, non-paid Spotify listener, and anytime I go to the gym, I use Spotify. And I've been hearing ads in different languages that I did not select or preference. So it might be something on their back-end algorithm just accidentally throwing those in there to me as an American listening. But I heard some German and some Switzerland advertisements, and I'm like, I wonder if this is part of that rollout that I heard. So I don't know for sure, but just adding my little 2 cents in there.
Could be.
What else we got, Rich?
Number 8, TikTok is piloting an in-app marketplace. So I was just like,
I don't know how that works with TikTok.
I don't get it. I don't know. It's going to be called TikTok Shop.
Cool.
Say that 10 times.
You buy stuff? Buy TikTok? Followers? I don't think you buy.
I think it's a way. You have Facebook Marketplace.
Okay,
right? Yeah. So selling goods on TikTok or something, or you got maybe you have a channel that has featured products or something like that. There's a way where now your audience can click on maybe this TikTok shop under your profile and take you to a category of things that you can now pay and purchase and buy. So TikTok's
I thought trying to get in that market.
Yeah. Every place is trying to do something like that. So why not jump on board?
All right. Well, next up, we couldn't go, 1 week without talking about EV, right? So electric vehicles. So we have Volkswagen here that will start production on its next electric SUV, the ID.5 Coupe. So this is an SUV, and it's a coupe, and it's electric. So just combining a whole different range of things there. It's supposed to come out later this year. We've seen this happen with a lot of other car companies working on their EV vehicles and stuff like that. We'll put an image up of what this is supposed to look like. And I'm excited. I've mentioned a while back I'm in the market for a vehicle, and I'm really putting some thought. I don't think I'm going to, but I'm really putting some thought in purchasing EV. But
all the companies are doing it, so it's like, of course, Volkswagen had to jump on board, right? Roll that next electric vehicle. It's tough though. I don't know what the price point's going to be on something like this, but I just don't see a lot of Volkswagens. You have one. I think you have a Volkswagen. I don't know. For me, I don't know why. It just could be me. It could be the area. I just don't see that many of them out there on the road. So I feel like you're going to be investing a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money to get something like this up and going. And then are you really going to have the rush of people that you expect for something like that? That's my question. I don't know. When I think of Volkswagen, I think that they dominate the diesel market. Like that's where if I ever going to get a car, I'm going there. Electric, I don't see that. And especially after the diesel scandal back, a couple years ago too, with all that stuff, they had to recover from that. So I think it's something they have to do. Exactly. Because it's that's the future. But I just don't know if the sales are really going to be there for them. But I could be wrong.
I absolutely love that point, but I think you hit the nail on the head. This is something that car companies absolutely have to do, because if they do not start moving into that EV sector of electronic vehicles, then they will get left behind. And in 20 years from now, you're not going to see. I don't think you're going to see gas vehicles coming out the way they are. So
I think this might even be another headline, but one of the vehicles are looking to go fully car company electric 2025. The whole fleet fully, is it Jaguar?
Jaguar. We discussed it last week.
That was last week. Okay, Jaguar. Yeah, last week. Number 10, Roku reported record-breaking Q4 earnings last week.
Wow.
And it surpassed 50 million active accounts in the US and saw 58% revenue growth from 2019. I threw this one in there because I was hyped over that they bought Quibi, and we talked about that before too. And so now seeing this, that they're breaking out on those their earnings. I love Roku. I have a Roku TV. Call me biased. That's fine. I just really like that they're offering the free content. Now, if they could do something with that Quibi material, I think they're really going to capitalize. And if I was a bet in stocks, I would have been in this a while ago to do that ride. So I wanted to throw this one out here this week.
58% revenue growth is no joke. Like that's pretty honorable. But now we are into our notable mentions. So we are going to fast fly through these next 10 topics, and just for your entertainment and enjoyment. So next up,
Number 11.
Number 11 is Jeep will drop the Cherokee name from the Jeep Cherokee and Cherokee SUVs, which together account for more than 40% of their total vehicle sales.
Yeah, and we could have went way in depth on this, but I thought that was crazy for their marketing. What do you do now? Like those are you have the Grand Cherokee as your notable vehicle that you sell, right? Like you got to do something with that, the marketing to sort of get whatever they decide to call it going. So Interesting. Number 12, Lucid Motors is going public in the biggest SPAC deal yet for an electric vehicle. So we always talk about what's going to be SPACing next. Well, here's another one.
SPACing Lucid Motors. All right, U.S. home prices jumped 10% in December, their biggest monthly gain since 2014. Everyone's been saying it's such a great time to buy a house. This could be start of the bounce back where the prices start going up. So
and fun fact, hottest markets: Phoenix, Seattle, San Diego. Number 14 headline, oat-based dairy product sales tripled in 2020 and overtook soy milk as the second most popular plant-based milk. Number 1, you may ask, it's still almond milk.
Nice. Number 15, Home Depot sales increased 25% in the fourth quarter of 2020. So this is something we've continued to see, these home improvement sales, these home improvement companies really taking seeing a lot of sales boost during COVID.
And we just talked about, Joanne Fabrics going public and stuff. The home, improvements, craft situation. All right. Motional, it's the Hyundai and Aptiv joint robotaxi venture, says it will go fully driverless in 2023. I thought that is
prove it.
Right, fastly approaching, and interesting if that happens.
It's 2 years away, so that's pretty nuts. We'll see what happens. Number 17, Samsung leaks glasses light and next wearable computing AR vision. So this is, remember a while back we all heard about like Google glasses and stuff like this. Samsung's taking a stab at it, and they said, hey, we're coming out with glasses light. It's going to be AR vision, augmented reality. So this is, you're viewing real reality, but there's going to be electronic things, pictures, images, stuff like that you can access while you're looking through these glasses. Really cool.
Yeah. Number 18, Chromebooks, they outsold Macs globally last year. Chrome operating system has risen to about 10% market share, while Windows sits at 80% and Mac is at 7%. So Chrome, they outpace Macs.
That's cool. Chromebooks, well, isn't that old? I mean, this is what, like a 10-year-old thing, if that. And it's nice to see that they're getting a little bit of that market share. But
I think that is because of a couple things. Actually, one big thing is we saw a lot of schools go remote.
Yes.
And so with the computers, MacBooks are expensive, right?
Chromebooks
they started, like, you couldn't buy a Chromebook. I mean, they were sold out completely everywhere because it was a cheaper model and you just needed to connect to Wi-Fi and get your homework and things like that. I think that's why this happened. It might happen next year too, but eventually I think it might go more even out or something. But Apple's that luxury brand. Not many people had the extra cash to go out and buy MacBooks.
Especially schools and their funding and everything like that. They had a lot of expenses trying to get things back in motion, but really cool. Number 19, Coinbase looks to go public. Investors are valuing Coinbase at $100 billion. It's the biggest U.S. tech listing since Facebook. First U.S.-based crypto exchange to go public. This could be the first U.S.-based crypto exchange to go public. So looking forward to that. And if you haven't heard of Coinbase, check them out. It's a platform where you can use to buy crypto and exchange cryptocurrencies. Pretty cool.
Yep. And last but not least, number 20, TikTok parent company ByteDance is in the early talks to list on the New York Stock Exchange. So this is going to be interesting. We just talked sort of about TikTok, having this new marketplace thing and whatnot, but now actually be able to see this go public as an IPO, be on the stock exchange. Is that something that we are going to invest in? I don't know. What are you going to invest in that, Tony? You a TikTok investor?
I don't know about the company enough, and I'm not really a TikTok follower, so probably not.
Probably not. Well, that wraps up this week's episode, and we hope you enjoyed your morning coffee. Tune in next week to see what news is brewing. In the meantime, don't forget to follow us at our Facebook page to stay up to date with more current trends. And hit that thumbs up and subscribe button. It really helps the channel. That does it. See ya.
See ya.